Afro5, dope MC.
But
Can you see
there
me
you go.
now?
Now I can, yeah, I can see that. It's the Wi-Fi, so I should have just
Man,
connected
that
to
was
Wi-Fi.
that was you, man. I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you. Man,
My
welcome
bad.
back, though. Welcome back, everybody. Appreciate
My
y'all
bad.
following. The crazy part is like, why is your Wi-Fi ending my whole connection? I don't know what's going on, man.
So I think it's because I was connected to like my actual like phone internet, and I wasn't like on the Wi-Fi. So, all right, it's my fault.
No worries, man.
It's my
But
fault.
let's get back to it. What were we just talking about? We were talking about, well, it doesn't matter. Like my first question. All right, you said you're from Henderson, North Carolina, right?
Yeah, yeah, Henderson.
All right. Have you been out there recently? Are you still performing out there? What's the local music scene
No,
like?
I haven't. I haven't been back in a while, but it is a lot of dope MCs coming out of Henderson. Shout out to especially Hakeem Too Easy. Like that's like I went to school with him, so like send it when I sent him that track, it was just like I was like, bro, I got a song for you. He was like, word. I'm like, bro, is this the one? And I sent it to him. He was like, you got a verse on that? You got an open verse? I'm like, yeah, bro, I got a free verse. So I sent him that song, and then he literally sent it back probably like 3 days, 3 days tops. Then
Oh,
he had FaceTime me, and then I just heard his verse. I was like, yo, like, yeah, but big shout out to him and even Ray Ray. Yeah, Ray Ray, he been doing a lot. He been dropping a lot of hit songs, and I really enjoy his music too. So it's a few and Brianna too. Her name is Breevy, but shout out to her too, Henderson. Yeah, definitely a
that's
lot of
awesome. Yeah,
dope MCs.
a lot of talent coming up out of Henderson.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's up, man. So, you said you've been making music for about a, you've been rapping for about a year, right?
Yeah, yeah, I've been rapping for about a year or two now. But like, yeah, getting in like that first song we recorded, that was like the first time I ever like been in an actual booth, and I was like, it was kind of overwhelming because I was like, yo, like, what do I do? He's like, but just spit, and I'm like, I don't know, this is not the same. It's like just rapping in my room in a mirror or something. Like, I'm actually like recording a song.
See, you're funny because like when we first recorded that song, I had no idea that was your first song. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
the way you approach, you have a very confident personality. So, you know what I'm saying? You're
Mhm.
coming to me like, hey, I hope you're ready. I hope you're
Yeah.
ready. You know what I'm saying? Don't come weak on the track. And then I get there, you saying it's your first song you've recorded. You know what I mean? Like
Like, like
it's
I'm
kind of
over here talking
unexpected. You know
cat.
what I'm saying? You didn't,
Yeah, I'm talking cash money, and then I was like, hey, you know this is like my first song, right? And he's like, what?
right? Like what?
Yeah, it's like it's not your first. This is my first song.
No,
I think that
man.
was
Well, I'm glad that I was there to be there for you, as you know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying,
Yeah,
kind of help you into the rap game, man. Don't
yeah,
forget me when
yeah,
you
yeah.
blow up.
Facts. No, I'm not. I'm not big dog. You already know how I'm coming. I'm like, look, I'm like, because you really kickstarted a lot of stuff for me. You feel me? Like you was like, yo, don't start rap, don't start writing, don't stop rapping. Just go back in there. Like when I get back in there, like I'll come back, and then it's like when I come and record again, well, I'll just memorize every lyric I did and go straight through the song in one take. So it's just like having that type of like mentor to push you to be a better MC is amazing,
Mm,
and I highly appreciate that.
that's what's up.
Hmm.
Yeah, man. No problem. I don't even look at myself as a mentor, so that's what's up.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I'll take that. I'll take that title. I wear that with honor. You know what I'm saying?
He wears it with honor.
A mentor to these young cats out here in the game. So,
He's like, man, Afro Five,
so
my
you
mentor. I'm
mentioned
like,
some of
man.
your inspirations in terms of music, but in terms of coming up with concepts for songs and just different ideas, where do you draw your inspiration? How do you come up with your themes for your music?
So usually the usually if it's a certain type of beat, I can usually I would say channel not even the cadence or how that person, or I could probably articulate it in my own way. So it's just like, oh, well, how would Drake do it, or how would J. Cole do it? But at the same time, it's still
Mhm.
organically Afro 5. So it's like even though it maybe it's like all right, you know, like these are his motivators. But it's just like when you hear Afro 5, it's like, oh, that's Afro 5. You're not thinking of, oh, this sound like J. Cole or this sound like Kendrick, this sound like Wale. They're like, nah,
Yeah.
that's Afro 5. But
Yeah.
being able to take motivation around people, or even you too, Cortez. Like when it comes like taking when it's like you can take so much in, but still articulate it to for it to be your personal style. So,
How did
because I
you
don't, I don't,
how did you find your own voice or your own style, you know? Like was that a difficult thing for you to discover, or is that just something natural within you?
yeah. So like with the voice part, it was just like because I really feel like I have an aggravating voice to listen to. Like sometimes I don't like hearing myself talk, so I don't say much. And then when I heard it back on the track, I'm like, man, is that really me? Like, you was like, man, that's a dope verse, and I'm like, that don't really sound good to me though. It's just like, nah. So then like I would keep recording. I like try to like channel like let's say like a type of accent or something. So I'm like, yeah, all right, that's my sound. Like if once it sounds good to me, it's just like, all right, that's my sound. So whether you like
Yeah.
it or you don't,
Yeah.
whatever. Like this is it. Like this is the sound. This is what we're doing now. But yeah,
Hell yeah.
it's mostly like rapping. It's just like once if I keep saying it or I keep doing it a certain way, it's just like, all right, this sounded better than that sounded. So we're gonna stick with this sound and we're gonna do that. But yeah,
It's just kind of a learning
that's
process, pretty much.
yeah, it's definitely a learning process. It's like because music is it's not it's just regardless of what people think, it's really not that easy. It's really not as easy as people think it is. Like it's really not, especially if you put like a lot of substance into your music or you're trying to put like a lot of like you want somebody to get something out of it. You basically put a piece of you into it, and coming from people like me, it's not easy doing that because I don't like people knowing my business like that. But when I put a piece of me in a song and then I just release it, and so many people just like, bro, I didn't know somebody felt the same exact way or somebody else is going through the same exact thing, that it makes me feel a lot better about pursuing what I want to pursue in the music industry.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. It's it's kind of like there's no right answer with music, right? You just do it. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
go with your gut at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And like the more you listen to your own music, the more that you can kind of pick it apart. You know, most people are their
Mm-hmm.
own worst critics, right? Would you kind of consider
Yes.
yourself like your biggest critic?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Because
Yeah. And
like
so
even
like
when
what's
even
that
when we
process
sit.
like of listening to your music and then kind of you're like thinking like, what would I hate about this if I heard somebody else doing this? You know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of is that kind of the thought process behind it? Like, how do I make this perfect?
Yeah, like even inside, like you seen it. Like you seen me recording that verse. Like I recorded that same verse literally 45 times before you came back, and then I recorded it again, and it still ended up like recording it more. But it's like I'm my own worst critic because it's like when I hear music, it's just like I'm like sometimes like let's say if a new like if somebody new's like, oh, hear my song. Like my little brother, he'll do it all the time, and I'll tell him, I'm like, bro, first of all, lay off the auto tune, stop freestyling, write your lyrics down so I can understand what you're saying because you're repeating the same thing over and over again. That's how I criticize his music, and I criticize my
Yeah,
music the exact same way. I'll be like, I'll be like, and you done heard it too. I'm like, yo, Cortez. I'm like, listen real closely, but do you hear when I was like, do you hear when I messed up on a syllable on this right? He's like, nah, it sounds like a dope verse. I'm like, nah, listen.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, listen, you can hear it, and then you'll finally hear it, and I'm like, yeah, see, it's like, no, I want it to sound like straight through. I don't want no pauses, no like unless I need to breathe. I don't want no pauses. I don't want no. It sounds like he slipped up. Like nah, because a lot of people are way more critical about music now than they ever been a day in their life. Because it's like man, he messed up on and he was like, oh that rhyme scheme was cool, but you messed up on a syllable right at two 2 minutes and 30 seconds,
yeah,
and the BPM was this, and I'm like, damn
yeah. They're
man,
gonna
like
pick you apart.
they go pick you apart.
Yeah,
Like, especially with the older generation, they like, man, this is some bullshit. And they say it all the time. They're like, man, this is trash. And I'm like, well, I don't want to I don't want to disappoint when I release something because when I release something it like when I release a song, like it means so much to me. So it's just like I want to get my point across, but at the same time, I don't want to stutter. I don't want to stutter or sound like I'm not, you know, like
Yeah.
I'm not getting my point across because it's like when you stuttering, it don't sound like you mean what you say. But like even with the new song we just recorded, like when they hear that, they gonna be like, "Oh yeah, he mean business," and I'm like, "Yes, I do mean business. Thank you."
So when can we expect more music out of you, man? We got one song right now. When's the
Okay, so
next? You got a timeline for your album, or is there something we can look forward to?
I want to release an album, I would say in April. Nothing special about April, but it's just like I've been writing so much, and it's just like I've been putting so much pressure on myself, but it's just like the pressure is not shown, and it's not shown what when I feel like I'm not producing what I feel like I can produce, I get aggravated. So it's like what I need to do now is just like I got so much music written, I got so much stuff that I can release. It's like I'm at a point where it's just like the next probably like 4 or 5 songs I record, I'm just gonna put those. I'm gonna let them just like piggyback off of In the Dark for a while because they was piggybacking off the other song. Piggyback off of In the Dark in a while, knock me out 4 or 5 little songs and throw an EP together. Something simple. It's not gonna be simple, but because it costs money. Like this, rapping costs a lot of money. So making sure
Yeah,
I
I
have my
mean,
funds and all.
rapping is free. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But if you
rap is
want to
free,
like
but
make make a mark in the industry, yeah, you got to pay for
hmm
videos and you know what I'm saying, managers and stuff like that. It's a pretty complicated process. Do you feel like you have a game plan for how you're gonna, you know what I'm saying, work your way into the industry,
yeah,
or
because like
is that what's just laid out?
yeah, like that's what I'm laying out for myself because I really like I have the game plan, but it's up to me to put it in motion. Can't nobody else want the hustle for me. Like I have to want to hustle. I have to want to be able to be the best. Because it's like ain't nobody just gonna hand me the title like, oh, Afro 5, you made a great song, here you go. You got people who drop a song, had the biggest song of the summer, and literally you don't hear about them ever again. And it's like that's the
Right.
type of mark that I don't want to leave. I want to leave that type of mark where it's just like he put so much passion into everything he released. I really want to change people's lives, but having that motivation, I have to apply that instead of just like feeling it for like 30 minutes and then it's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Well, that was nice. Like,
Right.
nah, like get in the studio, bro. Like make a hit. Like, come on. Like, let's go to the studio.
Yeah. That's the
It
hard
has to
part,
be
man.
more
It's a very complicated process. There's no right answers, and there's no. I mean, you could look at other people's path for success, but most, you can't just duplicate somebody else, right? So it's kind of
mhm,
complicated. Like, you might want to be the biggest artist in the world, but
mhm.
how do you get to that point is such a complicated process.
Exactly.
What do you think about would you sign to a major label? Do you have any opinions about major labels versus being independent?
So with the major label part, like honestly, I'm not too big on the whole masters thing because regardless of what people don't understand is that even the people who own their masters, they only own the percentage of their masters of that song. So it's just like if I signed
Yeah,
a major record label deal, that would be cool. But at the same time, it's just like if I'm independent, it's like I can do what I want when I want. So it's just like I don't have to like. And on top of that, like bro, it's 2021. It is way too easy to be independent at this point. Will you get the notoriety that like the Baby or like the Titans get? No. But at the same time, that
yeah,
doesn't mean you can't work your way up there at the same time. But like I feel like if I had a record label behind me, it would just cut out a lot of like middlemen and stuff. Like I wouldn't have to like,
yeah.
all right,
You don't
I
have
got
to
a
worry
paycheck for
about a
this
lot of
song. I
stuff,
gotta,
but you're gonna have to pay.
yeah, like,
Hmm.
mm, yeah. So
You
like the
might not
record
have to
label will
worry
take care of
about the
that.
little details. Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. But they're gonna charge you a premium. You know what I'm saying? You might be paying a
They,
thousand dollars for something you could do for $100.
mm,
And they're
but
just
yeah, but
like,
at the
oh
same
well,
time,
he got
like.
$1 million advance. You know what I'm saying? Take it out of his advance. You know what I mean? Like that's how the labels kind of look at it, right?
I'm like, nah, man, I'd rather pay this. I paid a man $50 for a license to the beat, record a song, throw it on Apple Music. All right, cool. That's it. It's done. Like, I'm thinking about doing some music videos soon too, but like mostly with that, it's just like record label, independent, either one, it don't really matter to me as long as I got a good majority of people around me that listen. Like, I don't want you around if you don't, like I don't want to be like a hype train, I don't want to be that. It's like, oh, do it for a minute. Like, nah, I'd rather have 10,000 people behind me that genuinely enjoy my music rather than a
Exactly.
100,000 people because it's like that's
Yeah.
trash. Like
Casual
they just
listeners.
hear it,
Yeah.
yeah, like they hear and they gone. But yeah.
So, in terms of this one song you have, or just your future songs you have planned to come out, how do you find your production? What's your process for that? Do you have
Well,
like a consistent producer?
so consistent so my main producers will probably be between Kevin Hughes, Dream Life, and DJ Payne One. Shout out to all of them actually. They're actually really talented producers. But as far as the music process goes, like I already have something written. So it's like, all right, I know what type of emotion I'm trying to like, let's say In the Dark, for instance, right? I wrote that about one of my exes because it was like I wrote that about an ex. So I'm just like, all right, you're gonna be put into a song now, bud, whether you like it or not. So get prepared for that. But at the same time, like I wrote In the Dark literally like probably like 2 years ago, believe it or not. I wrote that song like 2 years ago. But when I finally found that beat, and he was like, "Why you gotta go and break my heart?" I'm like, "Yo, this is it." And it got like that little like the Gen Z vibe to it. So it's just like the youngins, like the younger kids than me, like they like being in their feelings. So it's just like and then so now like when you putting that now it's like when you putting it together and you rehearsing the verse, it's like I'm putting myself in that state of being so hurt from when I written that poem.
Yeah.
So now I'm bringing the emotions out in the song. So now the process after that goes now you're actually memorizing your verses. So now when I memorize the verse, I got the whole song laid out already. It's ready now. Now,
Yeah.
whenever I go in the studio, all I have to do is just channel that emotion back. It's a lot less. It's a lot less to deal with because I don't want to get in the studio and I'm like reading my phone, trying to not mess up on the words and then trying to put the emotion to it. Like, nah, that's way too much
Yeah.
work. Like, I'm about to memorize these lyrics, get the beat ready to go, get the whole song ready to go, cadence, flow, all of that. Then as soon as we get into the studio, we laying it down.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah. You can
even
knock
just
it out.
engineers, like, yeah, people don't even understand that engineers hate it when you come in and freestyle. I done literally had some people tell me, if you come into the studio, please do not come here freestyling. And they would tell me that. And I'm like, what you mean? This is my studio time. But they's like, listen, I'm not trying to waste your time. I'm trying to make a hit record. This is what I'm here for. I'm trying to make a hit. So when
Yeah.
you come to the studio, be ready. So whenever
Yeah.
I'm doing a song, any song I'm writing, I'm ready. It's just like, look, Cortez, I got a song, load it
Yeah.
up, and
Knock it
then
out.
we ride straight, we knock it out. Now I don't
Yeah,
waste your
I
time,
mean,
I don't
I
waste my
agree.
time.
That's a good way to approach it because, like, at a certain point, man, you could spend an hour trying to get down 16 bars just because you didn't even think about what these 16 bars are going to be before you got to the studio. So now you got to think of each bar. You want me to punch you in? I got to chop off your last part. You messed up this and that. You know what I'm saying?
It's
It
trash.
definitely helps a lot to just be prepared for sure,
Mm,
for sure.
most
So that's
definitely.
something you mentioned. You mentioned like the younger generation being more into their feelings and stuff. Can you speak a little bit
Mm.
more about that? Like,
Oh
do you
my
think that's
God,
a
like,
generational thing, or
bro, it's got to be a generation thing. Like, look at our generation, but like, we got people canceling potato heads now. Like, they are in their feelings, and it's ridiculous. I'm like, bro,
okay?
it is
It's
really
just
not
the
that
world we
serious.
live in now,
It's just the world we live in
right?
right now. But so, like, I just feel like Generation Z is just like they enjoy being in their feelings. Like, look at the impact Juice World made. Like, what? This man made sad songs, and he basically like he got a $3 million record deal off of making sad songs. But like,
That's a good
I
point.
really feel like this generation is. But if anything, this generation is more open, prone to listen to the stories that people have to tell rather than, like getting in the studio and I'm talking about killing people every time I do a song,
Right.
which is kind of like it's kind of annoying sometimes. But I do give big props to this generation for being like even the biggest listeners because like I done played this song for certain people and they just like it's like, damn man, you went through that. It's like, yo, that'd be a dope song to like put out. And I'm like, well, that's my pain, but okay. Like
It makes for good
like
music, at the end of the day.
yeah, I'm
That's
like
all people are worried about.
yeah, it's like it's a good
Now, do
song,
you
man. You
feel
know what
like you
I'm
have
saying?
any kind of standout experiences with making music? Has there been like one maybe performing live, or has there been any experiences that you've had like that that kind of stand out in your mind
I
as
would
like a big
say because
moment for you?
I actually haven't did my first show yet. I'm thinking about doing some open mics, but I would say it is mostly when I'm around people or like some of my biggest moments because like I said, it's not always about the money for me or it's not always about making hit records. It's like let's say like even like let's say Cecil, me and you, like we done had like when you just in the studio with your brothers and everybody's just listening to you and then they understand exactly where you coming from and they just
Mhm.
and everybody just vibing out to just even a simple track and we all just like because like music is supposed to be fun like having a great way to express yourself and having a gateway to express yourself rather if you making hella money off of it or not it's always just a dope experience so like even just most of the music that I do now it's just like having like people around me who hear my music and just like and we all vibing and having dope conversations with it it means the world to me so like that's mostly where it stands out for music with me right now it's like being able to come in there and collaborate with my brothers, and we just having fun. You
Yeah,
know,
just that
so
feeling of people understanding what you're trying to do, and
yeah,
like what I'm
because
saying, being
because
in
like
that
you said, this
artistic
ain't
zone. What'd you
yeah,
say?
like this ain't. I said like you said, this ain't even our first interview. You feel me? Like when we had like a little type of like podcast type deal, like what was we doing? We was recording, and I was kicking game, and it was dope. Like it was dope. But yeah,
Oh
and
yeah,
mostly with that, it's just like yeah.
I totally understand what you're saying.
Hmm.
Now, for everybody who's out there trying to find your music, where can they find your stuff? What can they search for? And do
You
you have
can
like any
literally.
merch coming or what?
I'm glad you asked about the merch because I was gonna pitch it to you before so I actually have a brand called Halfness, and I really feel like as men, we don't express our feelings or we don't express our emotions as much as we should. So Halfness is basically being of two separate entities. So it's basically like a half heart on just like a black t-shirt. Something simple because like simplistic sales. Like everybody likes
Yeah.
simplicity. So with that, like that's gonna be Afro 5 merch. We're gonna get those
Okay.
back out there. Yeah, I said give me a few weeks, but we gotta. It's gonna be hard to negotiating with t-shirt people because they want to make like a lot of money, and I'm like, this is a simple t-shirt, and this is what you do to make a t-shirt. But what was the other question you asked? Oh yeah, my music. I'm actually everywhere. Like it's really not hard to find my music. If you type in inside Afro 5, or if you just type in Afro 5 no spacing. If you see Afro 5, I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, TikTok, Triller. I'm on Instagram, Facebook. Like, if you ain't, I'm even on YouTube. It's free. Like, if
Yeah.
you want to go listen to a song and you don't want to pay $10 a month, go to YouTube. It drops on YouTube for free. It is
Well,
literally no excuse not to find me.
everybody, make sure y'all check them out, man. Afro, AFRO, the number five, all one word. Search for it, man. He's only got one song out there right now, but he's got more stuff on the way, man. When can we? You said we could expect an album or some kind of an EP around
So,
April.
in the dark drops Friday at 12 a.m. In the Dark is already, you
Okay.
can get your pre-save now if you want to. It's up on Apple Music, it's up on Spotify. The pre-save is already up. So I would say you can expect the EP definitely in April. Definitely.
Word. That's awesome, man. So we'll definitely be tuned in, looking out for that
Mhm.
in the dark single. What's the
Mhm.
name of your
Most
EP? Do
definitely.
you have it figured out yet?
I'm really going with Aphrodisiac, man. A lot of people are gravitating
Shit, that's
towards that
dope.
because yeah, because I came up making like lady songs, and I think they like I think it's like I don't want to be confined in a box either. So I got like Aphrodisiac, and then you got Big, and then you got like Toucan. Like I want to show like different aspects of my versatility, but Aphrodisiac is definitely going to be the start. You know, it's going to be a couple songs in there for the ladies and a couple breakup
Yeah.
songs. You know, it is what it is. You know.
Yeah, I wanted to
But
ask you about that before we get out of here. You know, like
uh,
this one, the one single you got is definitely like romance and the ladies. You know, is that
mhm.
kind of the lane that you want to take, or are you, you know what I'm saying?
But
Is it
see,
like kind of like that Drake approach?
so my approach is really like when I'm dropping like different types of songs, is some people are gonna gravitate towards it, some people are not. Some people are gonna see me as, you know what, he should stick to this, or some people are gonna be like, he gonna stick to
Yeah,
this. But I really want to target the people is just like, but look how he switches up these songs. Like he doesn't drop the same song. Like you got plenty of
right.
artists who literally just pick trap beats and literally drop the same song back to back to back
Yeah,
to back. Like I'm not trying to hear that. Like no, I don't want to listen to that. Like when you think of
yeah,
like even the baby,
that
for
makes
instance,
sense.
the baby he dropped Suge like 67 times. Like bro, like all his songs literally sound the exact same to me. But I don't want to be that type of
Right.
artist. I want to be like, I mean, no name dropping the baby. You know, he's still a dope artist. But when you got like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to
Shout
be
out to
like,
baby.
yeah, shout out the baby most definitely. But you got Afro 5. It's just like when people hear my music, I want them to think like he's versatile. Like it's like, but it's dope because he can just get on any song and it can sound great, rather than he just makes
Yeah.
songs for women.
So,
So yeah, hmm
right, right. I mean,
right,
you
right.
know, it feels like there's definitely some importance to picking a lane. You know what I mean? Like I think
hmm
Wale, for example, he makes great tracks about love and all the. There's
hmm
so many aspects that come with love. You know what I mean? You don't gotta be a D
hmm
boy and also, you know, also like a
Yeah,
ladies'
but
man. But
hmm I mostly feel like the love type rap would be more of my lane though, because I'm a real like I can act hard a lot, but I'm really a big softy on the inside. Like I'm a big dude, but it's just like I'm a little soft. So it's just like making those love songs that people can that people can just vibe to, and they're just like,
I'm a
all
big
right, cool, like
softy,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, like look 6'2", you 230 pounds, 230 pounds, but I look aggravated already.
Right,
And then like they like, man, he
right.
hard. Like nah, bro. Like I really be crying at night. Like relax.
Come on. Hey,
But
but
yeah,
you
man.
know, there is definitely a lane for that. You know, like you were
Yeah.
saying, you know, the younger generation, man, they appreciate people being more vulnerable, showing their emotion. It's not like you got to be this
Mhm.
big macho dude on the corner doing pull-ups on the light post. You know what I mean? Like you can like show who you are. Like we're all human. There's no need to pretend. So
Yeah.
I think that's dope. I think
Yeah.
that's dope.
Yeah. Like I'm not with the pretending, man. I'm like, look, like people just play, I'm on the block, I'm on the corner, I'm selling rock. Man, ain't never touched a bud of weed a day in their life, man. They see you stay in the suburbs, Timmy.
Right.
I know you. Like, stop. Like, so I
Right.
don't be like if I want, yeah,
We
like,
went to middle
all right,
school
look,
together. Nigga. You
I
were a
went to
nerd.
school
Like,
with
what are you
you.
talking about?
You would, your mother is a lawyer. She is the district attorney.
Right.
You,
Your dad was a
you are
cop. You
not.
ain't selling drugs out. Yeah.
You ain't out here selling drugs, boy. You playing Xbox in there with your homeboys. Relax. You playing Minecraft. But yeah, mostly, yeah, she's sweet now.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but yeah, mostly it's just like making them love songs for the ladies. That most definitely be my lane where people like know me from. So they'll be like, yeah, like, oh yeah, this is yo, y'all heard that new song Afro 5 drop? Yo, it's hard, and I'm like, because you can still be lyrical and have because people think just like being like people like J. Cole, for instance, like your lyricism level, but it's just like I can still have lyricism levels and still stay in my lane. But we'll see where the tide takes me because I'm still starting, I'm
Yeah.
still learning new things. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, look, man, I know time goes by quick here, man. I appreciate you coming on the platform. But before you get up out of here, man, is there anything you want to let the people know? Like you said, they can find your music everywhere. Afro5, all one word.
Yeah, all one word, capital AFRO5. You just type in, or you just type in Afro 5 inside, you'll see it up there. And I really appreciate that. Like, I really want everybody to wait. What was the last question you asked me? I'm
Is
sorry, I
there
forgot.
anything you want to let the people know?
Oh, nah, like everybody who supported this live, I really appreciate it. And Cortez, I'm wishing you many more interviews, and the only way is up all 2021, man. Already.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
man, to
but
the
for the most
top.
part, just keep a yeah to the top. Keep a listening ear out. I definitely got a lot of dope stuff coming. I got a lot of dope stuff I'm planning, and it's gonna hit a lot of people over the head. But yeah, it's
Hey,
we
man.
gonna we gonna shake
We're
the
looking
world.
forward to it,
Most
brother.
definitely.
We're looking forward to it, man. I
Hmm.
appreciate you coming on. Once again, I'm Cortez Hero. This is Hip Hop Tonight. We're here with Afro5, Dope MC. Check out his single he has on all platforms. He's got a new single dropping on Friday at midnight. So Thursday night, check it out.
Thursday
In the
midnight.
Dark. I've
Hmm.
heard this song. He
In
gave me
the
a
dark.
preview of it, man. It's a dope track. So
Yes.
everybody go check them out, man. Once again, though, I appreciate y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next week. Hey, it's Hip Hop Tonight. Peace out, man.
All right. Peace out, man. Thank you.
Much love, brother. I'll see you later.
Much love. See you later, man.
Throwing me the signs, I can read that. Everything I said, girl, I mean that. Seen the back from the front, I need that. I ain't even gon' cap. I can't wait to get inside. Yeah, I can't wait to get inside. Inside of you, girl.
Said you're leaking like a faucet, had to call the plumber. You know the vibes when I'm in it, hotter than the summer. Got a job to do, time can't go to waste. Asking how I do it, baby.